Welcome back. Up next, Forum Daily's cryptocurrency and digital asset update with Catherine Murray, host of The Buck Stops Here. All yours, Catherine.
Thanks, Nima. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your weekly crypto and digital asset update. I'm Catherine Murray. Well, we are seeing some stability within the cryptocurrencies today. We are seeing Bitcoin up by about 1% or so, hitting that $41,000 mark. And we'll see how it, of course, ends up, given the fact that these markets are traded 24/7. Do not forget that. Hence, you can see quite a bit of volatility and movement. Taking a look at some of the crypto stats right now, the overall market capitalization stands at $1.8 trillion. Bitcoin accounts for about 42% of that value, and Ethereum accounts for 18%. Those are the two largest. I do want to point out, though, that Ethereum is down by about 42% on a year-to-date basis. So just to kind of put things in perspective in terms of how much volatility and swings we've seen in the crypto world, just like we've seen in the equity markets as well. A lot of headlines this week that continue to show firms interested in moving into the crypto and digital asset world. I'll go through them. Virtu Financial, for one, which is a multi-billion-dollar market-making firm, is looking to expand into the cryptocurrency world or crypto wholesale world. Keep in mind that a wholesaler on Wall Street is a market maker. They provide liquidity and price discovery. So we'll see what that looks like in the crypto or digital asset world. And again, that's according to sources. Away from that, a blockchain company called ConsenSys announced a $450 million raise, valuing the company at about $7 billion. And interestingly, they've got backing from SoftBank as well as Microsoft. So some big players, again, continuing to move and invest into the space. Overseas, El Salvador could launch their Bitcoin bond next week. Details are unclear. The timing is unclear as well, in part because of the Russia-Ukraine war. Away from that as well, and in speaking of the war, interesting to note that there, of course, are sanctions that we've seen countries place on Russia. The U.S. Senate Banking Committee announced a hearing in order to understand crypto use in sanction evasion. Elizabeth Warren, who sits on the committee, said that they are working on legislation to make sure that exchanges do not serve Russian users. Echoing that sentiment, we've got from the UK regulators basically saying that and warning that crypto firms are not exempt from Russian sanctions and that they are expected to comply with the sanctions. So you are hearing more regulators focused on that to make sure that there's no bypass here by using cryptos to support any Russians that are on the sanction list. On the regulatory front, really interesting this week from the European Parliament. They did pass a landmark crypto bill with wide majority. Away from that, you may have seen GameStop. GameStop, they reported their fourth quarter. This, of course, is one of the meme stocks that's been in the news, meme stocks. They are planning to launch an NFT platform. We also heard at a conference from Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook founder and CEO, saying that NFTs, non-fungible tokens, are coming to Instagram. Did not announce what the details would look like at all. But recall, Facebook changed their name to Meta back in October, really to reflect their focus on the metaverse and a virtual reality. They changed their name to Meta. And away from that, interesting as we look at Apple, it's a $2.5 trillion company. Many analysts on Wall Street talk about all the growth opportunities that they have, whether it's self-driving cars or what have you. There's an interesting report suggesting that the iPhone could be the tool that onboards millions more to the Apple ecosystem by creating a user-friendly way to interact with the crypto economy, according to Rick Burton. Pretty interesting on that front because we know how involved so many of us are in the Apple ecosystem. Imagine what it would look like if crypto became even a small part of that. Nima, I'll leave it there. Back to you.
iPhones and crypto. Very interesting, Catherine. All right, that was Forum Daily's cryptocurrency and digital asset update with Catherine Murray. For more analysis and news on the markets, be sure to follow Catherine Murray on The Buck Stops Here. Meanwhile, a major online money mover has taken a step to help people in Ukraine or those trying to flee the war-torn country. PayPal says users can now send money to Ukrainians, whether they're still in the country or are now refugees elsewhere in Europe. Before now, people in Ukraine were only able to use the payment site to send money out of the country. But now, users can also receive funds and make transfers inside Ukraine and abroad. The move comes after the Ukrainian government asked PayPal to open its services to its citizens. News from around the world coming up after the break, of course. We'll look at the latest developments on the war in Ukraine, a new plan from the International Energy Agency, and energy-related unrest continues in Europe. Those stories and more like them coming up after the break on Forum Daily, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.